Alright, people, what is up? It is your boy Dark. We are alive. It is Monday, and things got a bit away from me today, but that's okay. Was half expecting things to be going later for me anyway, just not quite this late, maybe an hour ago at most, but it's fine though. So we're here with the final episode of Counterside. And we're gonna do Act 1 today. I only got a little less than 2 months left to finish this and play around with that one unit we get for free. And do whatever the fuck else I want before this thing explodes. And whether we get a reboot or not is the question. So yeah. So without further ado, last time we left off with Omen in the story before this was we decided to invade the demon puppet lolly lord's fucking territory. And we're going to go to the golden tree, which may or may not be the source of all the bullshit. More or less, that's what I imagine is going to happen. Anyway, the Promised Land grants the wishes of all its residents. I doubt that very much, but sure, okay, lady. May or may not. Okay, tell me. Where is Jaquace hiding? Hiding? Who said anything about hiding? Do you think our resistance is full of cowards like you? Watch your mouth. The dog of the national security don't dare speak that name so lightly. What? Theodore Palmer of the Pureblood Regiment. You were involved in the bombing at the National Foundation Hall as well. The National Foundation Hall? Now look at you. That face. Don't tell me you're that woman's... Quick on the uptake. Then you must know what I'm going to do to you, right? How absurd. What does kidnapping me solve? Losay Schneider had been cooperating with the rebels for the sake of her own safety. The lie you spread to escape the public condemnation ruined an innocent person's entire life. It was a necessary sacrifice. The entire resistance couldn't afford to lose the people's support because of one woman. If you're the government's loyal hound, you should understand better than anyone that small sacrifices are sometimes necessary. You think of yourselves as patriots. But when hundreds of innocent people are dragged into the consequences of what you've done, you dress it up as some noble cause. Wait! You know that killing me won't accomplish much. You're after information on Jaquace, right? You're aiming for him, aren't you? He was the one who orchestrated what happened that day. Don't worry. Everyone will pay their price. You're just the first. Even so, we'd still need a cause to justify ourselves. Otherwise, we can't protect ourselves from the instinctual guilt we're born with. Have mercy. I told you everything. The location of the altar, even where that woman lives. What exactly do you want from me? Okay. Interesting. Are these memories just floating together on similar instances? Galvados, you are a devout follower of Anapilus, a man who carried out the will of the fairies more faithfully than anyone. Stop your tears and lift your head. Today is not a place to judge you. We simply wish to share with you the faith that we believe in. Elysius Philmaharmic. Madmen like you, who treat human personalities like objects, have no right to speak of faith. A ray of light one can grasp in the depths of despair. That is what faith is. Your goal and ours are not so different. What you're doing leaves nothing behind but victims! Mental printing will ultimately save this world. Just as the killings you have committed were meant for the sake of the world. They were sacrifices chosen by fate. All we humans can do is follow that choice. A small sacrifice to ensure the world's survival. Someone like you, who calls us heretics, will never understand. No, I do understand. After all, the prophecy that this day will meet its end with the birth of the Demon Lord is well known in Elysion as well. You simply killed those connected to the birth of the Demon Lord in order to prevent the prophecy from coming true, under the pretext that they were sacrifices chosen by fate. And the same goes for you. You, too, are nothing more than a sacrifice chosen by fate. The reason you're here today, at our existence, we are no different. Leah Schneider. Ha! I figured they were talking together. Where am I? Ah, you're awake. Are you hungry? Want a strawberry? They're really delicious. A kid. Why is there a kid in a place like this? Oh, shit, Shepard! What the fuck are you doing here? I was wondering when you're gonna pop up, but damn, I didn't know you were gonna pop up and meet her. Kids just exist, no matter where they are. Do you know where you are? Where I am is a small matter. As long as I know who I am there. That's what Mr. Belly said. Who am I? I'm Leah Schneider. And Nikilta. You have two names? I never heard of anything like that before. Then since there are two of you, here are 2 strawberries. Thanks. These look a little different from the strawberries I know. But they're incredibly sweet. Is it strawberry season? Come to think of it, what season do strawberries grow in? Hey, kid, do you know what month it is? There's no such things as months. This is the Promised Land. Every day is the same day here. Do you know who brought me here? Is there an adult in this house? Yes, Mr. Belly. It's noon right now, so he's at the place where we pray. We all gather there to pray together. Mr. Belly, could you take me to him? Okay. Mr. Belly. Who the fuck is Mr. Belly? Alright, so you're in the Promised Land. The sunlight. It's too bright. So bright. Okay, so she's in the Promised Land somehow. I've never seen anything with a view like this in my life. How the fuck did you get here? Last time I remember you touching base on you, you were fucking around with the one of the other talking COs. That grudge for the girl's sake willingly chose a witch in which it will never awaken. Oh, you're new. We are the apostles of the Promised Land who serve the prophecy of the Golden Tree. Even if the heavens split apart and darkness descends, we shall pray without faltering. When angels descend upon this land and songs echo through the air, our foe shall face judgment as well. On the day our wish is fulfilled, with the silence at the end of autumn, the Promised Land shall be at last complete. As we welcome the first snowfall, we will encounter at the end of eternity. Thus shall the promise of the Promised Land be fulfilled. Are you Mr. Belly? It seems there's been a small misunderstanding. My name is Velvis. As the Kiever, the high priest who serves the Golden Tree, I help oversee the affairs of the city of Antiplis. Velis, I see. Well, I suppose no one would actually be named Belly. I must be out of sorts. Understandable. Clara is still adjusting to life in the Promised Land. Clara. So that's the girl's name? It's not very common for outsiders to arrive here. It seems the will of the Golden Tree has guided you to this place. The Golden Tree. Does he mean that enormous tree? I've never seen scenery like this before, and yet it somehow doesn't feel unfamiliar. Where exactly is the city called Annapolis located? Annapolis is not connected to anywhere, which makes specifying its location rather meaningless. Riddles are nice and all, but could you tell me something real instead? I ended up relying on your kindness, but I can't stay here forever. Is there some reason you must leave this place? That's... Huh? I remember trying to stop Thuragron, but why is everything after that so hazy? Everything that's happened up till now feels like it was all just a dream. If facing Thuragron was real, then waking up unharmed in a bed makes no sense. Ah! Is something wrong? The blonde woman who was with me, could she be... Oh dear. Your wound has reopened. I should have warned you to be more careful since it hasn't been very long since you were treated. My mistake. I have a wound? It seems you're involved in quite a battle before arriving here. But please, rest assured, in Annapolis, no one engages in battles they do not wish for. I need to go back. I'm sorry, is that younger Moors? Is she alright? Yes. But we should move her back to her room and tend to her wound again. Would you lend a hand, Alicia? I fucking knew it! Okay, I just can't remember her other name. Yes. Father. I'm sorry, what? Don't cry. I killed her. I really killed her. The memories of Maestral Naquita. Her final atrocity, now intertwined with mine, returns every night as a nightmare. Even though it wasn't my deed, the hands that killed my mother feel as vivid as if they were my own. Once someone dies, they never come back. That simple premise is carved into our experiences and our minds. Because of that, murder becomes a grave sin, and regret becomes meaningless. I knew it. The rebels' revenge, carried out in the name of their country, which ruined my mother's life, and my revenge, carried out in the name of my country, which forced me to kill those wretched rebels. They're both sins of no real difference, and the regret's all the same. Expressions like cause and effect or karma are merely ways of dressing up that simple truth. Such an oblivious truth. Why do we only accept it humbly after everything is already over? That's a good question, isn't it? It's impossible, but... if everything could return to the beginning, If everything could be returned to its beginning, we're talking about that again. It's that ceiling again. So I came back. Are you alright, my dear? Huh? Why is my mom here? You must have had a nightmare. But it's alright. In this place, things like nightmares will never happen again. A nightmare? Everything that happened until now, was that all? It was a long recital. But now set the instrument down and enjoy this quiet with me. Just like I remember. Mom's embrace is warm. If it's a dream this real, I wouldn't mind dreaming it forever. I told you, it's not a dream. Too many people died for me to dismiss it all as just a dream. In this place, death carries no meaning. Which is why neither revenge nor regret is necessary. Can something like that truly be called reality? At the very least, it isn't a dream. Not a fleeting dream that leaves you with nothing once you wake. Why not? Something this good. Feels like a miracle someone like me, who has sinned, should never receive. The Promised Land does not discriminate based on who you are. That is the law of this place. The Promised Land? There's no such things as months. This is the Promised Land. Every day is the same here. For an afterlife, it's not nearly as harsh as I expected. I thought evil people would die and receive punishment they deserve. This place is too peaceful. Not everyone can reach the Promised Land. But why we are here? Neither you, nor I, nor even the gods, nor even God knows. For now, all I wish is that you came to like this place. How could I not? I've been reunited with my mother, whom I thought I'd never would see again. I'm here too. You're happy to see me again too, right? You're Clara, right? Yes, you could call me that. It's nice to see you again, Clara. You picked so many flowers. They're for a friend. Would you like to come with me? Oh, are we gonna see fucking the dinosaur? The dinosaur CEO? Are we gonna see Thatcher? Thatcher was his name. A world where death has become meaningless, a world where dreams become reality. Within the enclosure called the Promised Land, the wounded soul is steeped in peace and comfort. It is the dinosaur! Ah, he's wounded. That big thing? That's your friend? Yeah. I don't remember its name, though. It's not moving. Is it alright? I can tell. It's just asleep. But I guess it doesn't want to wake up. It doesn't want to wake up? The Promised Land is a place that grants everyone's wishes. For some people, rest might be their greatest wish. Then Clara's friend must be getting all the sleep he ever wanted here in the Promised Land. Don't you want it to wake up and play together? It's alright. Playing should be fun for both of us. It can hear everything even now. I can call it later. When both my friend and I want to. Then, until your friend wakes up, you want to play with me? Would that be alright? If you're alright with it. Okay. But if you ever want to leave, you can just say so. If I want to leave. I don't think I feel that way. Because wanting to leave but being unable to because of a promise is sad. Okay. Let's play together until one of us wants to leave. Until then, rest easy. Clara's friend. I was wondering what the fuck happened to Thatcher. With that portal bullshit. You've been quiet for a while, Alicia. Is it because my cooking is not to your taste? Huh? No, of course not. Father's potato dish is the most delicious thing in the world. See? Something this delicious will be gone in no time. Here's some water. Thank you. Now, hold on. Is it just, like, thinly... Yeah, I was gonna say, she's barely in a fucking dress, barely covered together. I'm like, I feel like this child needs more clothing. Thank you. See? Father's prophecies have never been wrong. Ahem. Is it because of that outsider? I have never seen someone so badly injured before. I'm worried whether she'll be all right. It seems she came here after a great battle, but she'll be fine before long. The Promised Land has accepted her, after all. Yes. In the Promised Land, everyone who will have their wishes fulfilled and be happy. Come to think of it, I forgot to bring the food we harvested today for her. She might be hungry by now. Please leave it to me. I'll take it to her. Would you? I'll be back before sunset. You're going to pick fruit? Yeah, at the farm. If you go there, there's lots of sweet stuff. They grow bitter herbs, too. That farm. Doesn't it have an owner? Is it okay to just take things? Dana is kind. She said it's fine to take a lot. It's quite a large farm. Different fruit trees are planted on every hill. They're fully ripe, as if they were just waiting for someone to pick them. I know. How good must the soil be to produce so much fruit? The trees of the Promised Land bear fruit every morning, so the residents harvest them at dawn and enjoy a feast from the harvest at noon. Oh, that lady must be the owner of this farm. You must be Dana? You must be the guest Clara brought. My name is Diana. The little one is the only one who calls me that. Oh, shit! Huh? Oh, fuck. Okay, that's different. Her hair resembles the lush leaves she had brushed aside while walking through the grove. The moment I saw it, an inexplicable emotion surged up. A strange meaning contained within familiar colors. The colors of screams and exhilaration. Ah, it's one of you. To find out what that meaning was, I roughly dragged out a filthy fragment of memory buried deep within my mind. Your name is... Dinah? That's right. And you must be Leah Schneider. Oh, are you the particular person that version of Dash who became Thurgren fucking killed? I mean, was his sister or whatever? No. That's not who I am to you. My real name is... In the Promised Land, you can be anything. Even if you deny being Lena Schneider and offer another name instead, nothing would really change. I know that what's already happened can't be undone. But even if nothing changes, there are things that shouldn't be hidden. We're both fated to live with our sins. I too have stained my hand with the blood of countless lives, and I have no intention of making excuses for it. But we're all still alive here. Sins coexist with the laws of the world. The law of what's already happened cannot be undone. But in this place where death doesn't exist, even that law doesn't apply. So there's nothing more meaningless than distinguishing between the wicked and the righteous. There is only yourself, atoning to those you killed and finding satisfaction in that. Right. Just as you say, perhaps atonement here truly means nothing. Then here in this place, what kind of relationship would you and I have? Who knows? That depends on each person's judgment. Just like people in the ordinary world. The strawberries Clara likes are beyond the Eastern Ridge. Pick as many as you want. If every choice here is meaningless, then why does a place like the Promised Land even exist? Because it requires no one's choice. Only then does it become the Promised Land. Requires no one's choice, huh? I picked lots of strawberries again today. Yes, they look very delicious. Here, say ah. Ah. Is it good? Of course. The strawberries Clara picked are sweeter than the ones I picked. I'll make these into a smoothie. It'll taste even better. You'll make it, Clara? I'm already looking forward to it. Okay. Someone's in front of the house. You're right. She's asleep. Is that... It can't be... Ecclesia? I have made a disgrace of myself falling asleep in front of someone else's home. If you stare at me like that, I'd become embarrassed. Sorry. You just resemble someone I know. May I ask your name? Ecclesia. That is my name. Why have you become so young? Pardon? I'm not sure what you mean. You have a habit of falling asleep anywhere? Yes. I don't believe I sleep more than any others, but when it came to my senses, I found that I've fallen asleep somewhere. If you fall asleep anywhere, does that mean you sleep a lot? Is that so? Anyway, do you really not know who I am? No, today's the first day I've met you. But since you speak to me so respectfully, it makes my heart flutter as if I, too, have become a grown-up. It's not just her appearance that changed. Her mind has become that of a complete child. What happened to her? Some kind of counter-side effect? Did time itself twist? Miss Leah. Yes? May I examine your wound? I wish to confirm whether it's healed properly. Can you see it? Can you see it well if I do this? This time it's closed well without reopening, so please rest assured. Would you permit me to change the bandage? Go ahead. At first, I was quite surprised. Father taught me how to treat injuries, but this is the first time I've seen someone injured in the Promised Land. The first time. Don't people here sometimes get hurt while living their lives? In the Promised Land, when a day passes, the same day returns rather than tomorrow. Just as the fruit picked today appear again in the same place the next day. Injuries do not remain. Perhaps the reason your wounds remain, Lady Leia, is because you were injured outside the Promised Land. But once the wounds heal completely, I believe you'll become like the other residents as well. Like the other residents. But how did you become so badly injured? I fought a powerful enemy. I had to risk my life. Risk your life? What does that mean? What do you mean? It means I was prepared to die. The Promised Land might be different, but in an ordinary world, a person only has one life. And not just me. You were there too. I was with you? But this is the first time I've met you, Miss Leia. I don't really understand what's going on either. Why I, who should have died, woke up in a place called the Promised Land, or why you appear before me looking so young. What I remember clearly is that both of us stood against a demon lord named Thurogrin to stop the destruction of the world. Then, is the powerful enemy you mentioned Thurogrin? You remember the name? I know that the demon lord who destroyed the world before the Promised Man existed was called that, but I have absolutely no memory of fighting such a being. Until recently, I didn't know either. But the world you lived in isn't the whole of existence. Somewhere beyond lies the world where I was born, where many people live. And the demon lord Thurogrin is now trying to destroy that place, my home. I have heard that beyond the Gale Lands outside the Promised Land there is a demon lord, but I never knew that another intact world was also being targeted by the one who would destroy our world. You... To stop another world from becoming like yours, you chased Thurogrin longer than anyone else. I can't believe that you're hearing this for the first time. I was planning to take you with me and get revenge on that bastard somehow. Revenge. Just because something was lost, must it always be repaid? What? In the Promised Land, there's no need to fight anymore. Even if there was a villain who destroyed worlds or harmed people, hating them is meaningless. Because here in the Promised Land, there is no destruction and no death. There were countless things I wanted to say, yet none of them could leave my mouth. To think that I, carrying the memories of Maestral Nicoida, was trying to persuade the very person who had hated Thurgon more than anyone else and fought to stop her. I found myself at a loss for words. If the Ecclesia I knew has already died or lost all her memories, would it really be right to drag a girl with the same name and face back into that blood-soaked circle? In the Promised Land where everyone was once lost and returned to her embrace. Should I really pull her back? The fuck? Into that cold reality? Perhaps you might be right. In this place called the Promised Land, maybe there's no need to fight Thurgon. I should get going. Oh, the sun's beginning to set. It'll be night soon. Want me to walk you home? It'd be trouble if you fall asleep again on the way like before. Night? By night, you mean the one spoken of in the prophecy of the Golden Tree? The prophecy of the Golden Tree? What do you mean? Is it normal for night to come when the sun sets? Ah, it's already this late. The sunrise prayer will begin soon, so I must return now. In the Promised Land, the night we once knew no longer exists. When the sun sets, a new sun rises. Why is that? Because the Promised Land is not yet complete. So people here believe that when the day comes when an angel descends, bringing the night, and the day and night will finally exist, and the Promised Land will become perfect. This is the prophecy of the Golden Tree. An angel? So such a thing really exists. This is fascinating as a term, kind of like an afterlife. At the center of this sinking heaven and earth, the golden tree that remains only as a stump shone with light. The winter that had once filled the world suddenly retreated, and spring arrived. By autumn, when the new sprouts that grew with the seasons had matured enough for all the land's bounty to be harvested, she, carrying the pass of time like a painting, created today's Promised Land. She. And so we pray for the ones who return the reality we once lost to our arms, and allow us to dream of the ideal called the completion of the Promised Land. We pray for her. We pray. I mean, I swear to God, if they're praying the fucking Tamil, if we keep living diligently like this, night will come to the Promised Land someday, won't it? Of course. When that day comes, all of our wishes will be fulfilled as well. The voice of the Golden Tree prophesies it so. There's something I wish to ask, Father. What is it you wish to know, Ecclesia? Why must night exist for the Promised Land to be complete? We're all living perfectly well even without darkness. Everything must have two sides. A world where only light exists without darkness is only half complete. Then, is the reason there is no death in the Promised Land the same? That is because of a certain will that wished for no one to die ever again. But for the Promised Land to become perfect, someday even that death will become necessary. I still don't quite understand what it means for the Promised Land to become perfect. The word perfection itself has no meaning, because defining it and striving for it itself is itself imperfect and relative. That is why all beings live with the desire to become perfect. Just like the residents of the Promised Land, who experienced the end of the world once and now wish to live more than anyone else, and to take revenge. For the people of the Promised Land, does perfection mean revenge? We are waiting for the day when night comes here. to fulfill the prophecy of the golden tree that says we will kill our ancient foe with our own hands. For the moment that we will take revenge on Demon Lord Thorogram, who destroyed our home world. No, I'm a resident of the Promised Land. I don't believe revenge will make the Promised Land perfect. I understand how you feel, Ecclesia. You have always wished for a peaceful Promised Land with no conflicts. Harsh words like revenge or resentment do not suit you, nor would they be perfect. So rest here in peace. As always, the Promised Land will fulfill your wish. The golden tree is always there. Even time itself remains there with it. Those who move towards the future have no right to face it. Alright. That said, I'm gonna be doing a thing quick. I will be back in a few minutes. Okay, I'm back. Alright, let's see. According to Lee Jiso, it should be somewhere around these coordinates. Ah, Spencer is here. Is that kid really somewhere in the counterside? The evidence is sufficient. We follow the bond you share with that child. A bond? Between me and that child? No. Even if you really can say something like that. The world's on the verge of ending, and you're helping me like this? Didn't you say you have to find the Demon Lord Thurogron? We made a promise, didn't we? We told you that if you helped us find Siosang, we'd help you in return. And helping you find your child also works towards our goal of locating Thuragron. Finding the Demon Lord. What does that have to do with the child? More precisely, it's connected to research conducted by the Northern Union. The Northern Union? In the past, they discovered a massive living organism in the middle of the counterside and began studying it. After years of research, they determined it was part of a colossal tree, large enough to envelop an entire planet. A tree. You don't mean it's connected to the one that appeared in the Grand Dimensional Crevice above the city? Yes. The part of the counterside where scientists discovered this tree they called the Bronze Tree was once an ordinary world where people lived. But a massive root appeared and absorbed every possibility within the world, leaving it in the desolate state you now see. It's hard to believe, isn't it? No one would accept such a story easily, not unless they experienced it themselves. Yeah, in a way. So the one controlling the tree is Demon Lord Thuragron. That's why we want to find Thuragron. We must trace the origin of that tree. And your child carries the essence of that tree. The Bronze Tree's heart. That's why we're following its traces. Everything eventually returns to its origins. Eventually. Maybe. Something's starting to appear. Oh. I explored the counter site several times, but I've never seen a site like this. Ah! We're in Morgan's realm. It almost feels like a fairy might appear. You're right. The flower that was picked yesterday is still here, perfectly intact. So every day returns to its original place. If it doesn't disappear after being picked, it'll never wither either. The first resident didn't like flowers wilting, after all. The first resident? Yes. The residents of the Promised Land all know it vaguely. The Promised Land is a place that grants everyone's wishes. And if the world that was destroyed has come back to life, it means someone wished for such a paradise. The one who wished for the Promised Land. The first resident. If such a being exists, they must be a god rather than human. By the way, I haven't seen Clara for a while. She went to look for a flower to give to a friend. Where'd she go? There's more than enough flowers here already. She went to the place where the golden tree stands, saying that special and beautiful flowers grow there. Special. Pretty flower, pretty flower. Where is it? I can't see it. Ah, are you looking for this? Huh? Such a beautiful flower. Yes, this one. My friend will like it. But who are you? I'm... Dash? Damn! Audra. Audra. It means strong wind, right? You understand the language of a panelist? I don't know. I just felt it from your name. Huh. So Dash, huh? Well, a version of Dash, anyway. I'm Clara. I'm good at finding flowers, but this one's really hard to find. That's because this flower only grows once in all of the Promised Land. And I pick it every morning, so of course you can find it. Do you need flowers too, to give to a friend? I don't have any friends. I pick them to eat. You eat flowers? You're a strange person. I'm not strange. It's tastier and more nutritious than you think. I don't know, man. I see a person eating the flower. I think you're a little weird. Let's not get that twisted. Where the fuck did that go? Hold on. There it is. It can even cure a certain special illness. Are you sick? Yeah, it's an illness that gets better if I eat that flower. An illness cured by this flower. And I'll give it back. It's okay. Even if the illness gets better, it comes back after a day anyway. But being sick hurts. Even if it doesn't help right away, you have to endure it and eat it. Huh. So I do find it funny we have albino Dash. I really do. Clara, you're a kind girl. That must be why the Promised Land brought you here. Mr. Belly told me. He said the reason I taste food and smile is because I became a resident of the Promised Land. That's right. The Promised Land grants the wishes of its residents. Everything? Anything? Not every wish. The greatest wish dwelling in a person's heart is left unfulfilled. Why? Because that greatest wish... Hold on. Alright, let's take it from the top now. Because that greatest wish is the reason that gives them the strength to keep living. So until the very end, that one wish is left for them to hold on to. Shepard, if you can hear me, say something! Huh? I think someone just called me. You don't have to answer. That voice is only an echo carried from a distant future. An echo from the future? That flower. You said you give it to your friend, right? Shall we go together? Okay. For a world that's supposedly been destroyed, it looks like a perfectly normal village minus the people. It's almost as if time stopped. That would be correct. When a world reaches the end of its lifespan, the flow of time also comes to a halt. Administrator, if the Demon Lord destroyed the world and stole its possibilities, where do all those stolen possibilities go? There are many hypotheses, but nothing certain. What we do know is that when possibilities accumulate on a world scale, fall into the hands of a Demon Lord like Thurgren, it becomes extremely dangerous. Because the essence of those possibilities is very different from a counter CRF. The very crystallization of pure possibilities. Shepard! Answer me if you can hear me! Shepard! The scanner's still not working. Nothing's moving. And there aren't even any unusual waveforms that might indicate an artifact. Then you should know calling out won't get an answer. Shepard, can you hear me? Doesn't look like she intends to give up. It's the first hope she managed to find. You can't blame her. It's a bond that's not so easy to abandon. It doesn't feel unfamiliar. Watching someone wander blindly even though the bond they seek is practically within arm's range. Does that mean the space coordinates themselves weren't wrong? Yes. What you're thinking is correct. Come on. Answer me, even if it's just your breathing. Please, just once. Let's head back for now, Spencer. Finding her right now is impossible. Administrator, the bond you speak of, what exactly is it? Exactly what it sounds like. The natural order that connects people to one another in their fate. Then, the reason I can't find her must be because of me. Why do you think that? Because we changed that child's fate with our own hands. Because of our greed. The bond didn't just break, it was completely severed. That hypothesis is incorrect. Fate doesn't change so easily. Then explain it to me. Why can't I meet her? There's no mistake that she's here in this place. She's simply in a different time from us. A different time? When a world reaches the end of its lifespan, it's the same as the flow of time stopping. That's what you said, Administrator. If that creature holds the possibilities of an entire world within in its grasp, stopping the flow of time like this would be trivial. Shepard's in the past? Even if that were possible, how are we supposed to go to the past? No matter how amazing the administration is, it's not like you have a time machine. We do, actually. You serious? A time machine actually exists? We have almost everything. Strictly speaking, it's a little different from the common idea of a time machine. But it's certainly a device that could travel across timelines. And with the administration, there are specialists capable of operating such things. We're going to time jump. The longer a slingshot's band, the farther it flies. And the longer a top string, the longer it spins. A time machine is no different. Interesting. You're talking about bands and shit. Okay. Okay, yep, this is why we got, not Dragon Boy, Dragon Boy's dad. How did it look when you checked? And there's Paradox. No matter how many times I run it, the result's the same. At the deepest range the periscope can detect, there's a very faint trace of divinity energy. So there really is something there? That's good news. Once we identify the coordinates, we can just go there through the well, right? Hey, idiot, if it were that simple, we wouldn't be struggling like this! Is that so? You were wagging your tail so much, I thought things were going well. That's what happens when you start thinking too much. And why are you touching my tail? My apologies. It kept catching my attention. In any case, the problem is that the depth of the pass we can connect to through the well is proportioned to the amount of energy fuel we have. 10 years, 20 years back. We might manage that with Ethereum somehow. But connecting the well to an era stretching across an immeasurable eternity is close to impossible. An era whose units can't even be defined. Just how ancient is this Thurgron who's hiding there? Many, many old. The time she's existed is directly proportional to the number of worlds she's destroyed. It must be a span of time in which countless worlds were created and shattered over and over again. To maintain a quantum tunnel that goes against a span of time approaching infinity, you need a power source proportional to do it. Even if we gathered all the Ethereum in this world, it still wouldn't be enough. Not even all the Ethereum in this world would do it. Then I suppose the only choice left is to give up. Spend what time remains until the end with the people we care about. You give up so easily. As if you never believed you'd find her in the first place. If it weren't for you, I would have died trapped in the counterside anyway. Someone like me has no right to determine a matter which decides the fate of humanity. What you're saying sounds like you have a valuable suggestion, but you won't voice it. You won't voice it because of your position. If you have an idea, may we hear it? And there's the mucus I was waiting on. Anyway. It's dangerous. If it fails, we all die. If things continue like this, humanity faces extinction anyway. The only difference is whether we try something or do nothing and let it end. Boss is someone willing to do anything for humanity. Even if it means gambling all of our lives. I won't deny that. I watched the broadcast of what happened in the Shadow Palaces. Swan using energy flowing from the coaffle of the dimensional rift almost as if it were her own power. If the power used by demon lords or their apostles isn't fundamentally different from CRF, as you said, then it should be possible to utilize it like Ethereum. You mean, as a power source to operate the wells? Use the power that endlessly pours out of the grand dimensional crevice. Interesting! That makes sense. Are you serious? In terms of classification, Coaffle isn't that different from Ethereum as an energy source. And it's extremely irregular and unstable. If we fail trying to harness Coaffle energy, the dimensional surface will collapse in an instant. Too many people have already been hurt, and the number will only keep increasing. Isn't there some way to persuade the Demon Lord to retreat? You shouldn't expect a Demon Lord to think like a human, Senior Sita. A Demon Lord may possess desires humans might understand, but their existence is no different from a shadow that blindly pursues those desires. I hear Nethelmon hides his identity and attended the Academy. Even if he had other motives, the fact he can interact with people means he wasn't just some monster like a shadow, right? Even if Thurgood retains some trace of humanity, don't expect it to work in our favor. If you consider why the beings we called exiles were pushed all the way here, that becomes even clearer. Thurgood won't hesitate even for a moment. You're right. I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said something so pointless. Nethelmon certainly wasn't the same as the Demon Lords we defied. In the end, he was still a being capable of destroying humanity, just like Thurgron. But at least before the Coawful game, he never directly harmed humanity. Of course. That wasn't because he didn't want to harm humanity. He was simply bound by the restrictions that the more a Demon Lord interferes with reality, the more power they lose. Which also proves that Thurgood is far more dangerous than Nethelmon. Unlike Nethelmoth, who attempted a direct breakthrough through the Coawful game, Thurgood already had a workaround to invade reality without using her own power. And if Demon Lord Beelzebub hadn't interfered, he would have faced an even greater danger. So what you're saying is that to stop someone like that, we can't afford to be picky about the means? If there's a less dangerous alternative, then I have no reason to oppose it. What about destroying the roots? Sorry, was that too careless of a suggestion? It's not the wrong answer, but it's impossible in practice. Even if the roots are destroyed, they regenerate instantly. They seem to repair themselves using a Coawful pouring out of the Grand Dimensional Crevice. Unless we block the flow of the Coawful while simultaneously restricting the collapsed dimensional surface of the Grand Dimensional Crevice, there's no way to eliminate the roots completely. Repairing the dimensional surface, I think I might be able to try that. Rookie, the only reason you're able to stop the collapse of the Grand Dimensional Crevice at Ground 1 was because the dimensional surface hasn't completely collapsed yet. Trying to seal the dimensional surface after the Coawful has already begun pouring out is like repairing a floodgate without stopping the water first. Would it work if I try really hard? No. Yes, ma'am. If we could borrow the power of a Demon Lord who can alter the flow of Coawful. Hello! Okay. It might be at least possible to attempt it. Though that one certainly won't step forward for such a reckless plan. Oh! Now, Yubi, if you trust me and lend me your power, I'll have to decline. Gasp. Why? Are you really some kind of evil mastermind? An enemy of the world? I have no intention of wasting my power on an operation that's bound to fail. Bound to fail? If we work together, there's definitely a chance. Repairing a single Grand Dimensional Crevice that way wouldn't be theoretically impossible. But there's only one Wing of Sephra, and only one antagonist who possesses a Demon Lord's power. For Noelle, who barely managed to stop a Grand Dimensional Crevice on the verge of collapse, to seal 5 of them would be testing the limits of Sarah's power. You lose all the power you possess. That's okay. If sacrificing myself could save everyone. To add the obvious, Thurgood wouldn't just sit back and watch as 5 Grand Dimensional Crevices are repaired one after another. Destroying a Grand Dimensional Crevice that has already collapsed once wouldn't be difficult for her. Then, what should we do? If this were a simple problem that could be solved with effort and sacrifice alone, the Administrator wouldn't have gathered us all here in the first place. Isn't that right? Yeah. I understand how much you want to stop what happened what's happening right now, Noelle. But when facing a crisis that requires cooperation, reaching a consensus everyone can follow must come before making a rash decision. So let's trust the person we all believe in and follow. Yeah. And please, boss. It seems every possible option has been voiced. The rest I'll leave to the Supreme Administrator's judgment. Thank you. Well, then I'll begin the explanation. Supreme Administrator of the Administration. Operation approved. Operation name, Sun and Moon. Team Moon, Technical Division. Nostalgia Workshop, Senior Isolate. Will support from multinational, with support with multinational corporations. Jesus Christ. Time remaining until well activation. 1 hour and 50 minutes. Well, shit, we're doing the thing, are we? So this is the well? It looks like a ghost might crawl out of it. Does something like this really work? Of course it does. The well is the final work left behind by the greatest genius of the old administration. Final work? Ah, we have guests. Huh? A pleasure to meet you, Senior of Lotus. Something really came out of the well! Hey, who's making all that noise while I'm working? Oh, a beast monster. What did you call me, a monster? Swift death to evil? Ah! Sorry, what the fuck did you just do? So, let me get this straight. This one isn't a ghost, but a cyber specter from the exiles made of a mass-bearing hologram. And this one isn't a beast monster, but a begone from the old administration called Paradox. And the two of them were repairing this old machine before we arrived so it could be activated. Yeah, that's right. Hey, did you really come all this way without explaining a single thing about us? Sorry, I was explaining the well and forgot. We didn't have much time. Understandable. Fully grasping the technology condensed within the well would take far more than just an hour or two. How annoying. I'm not the type to brag like that. Really? I think the resemblance is pretty strong. Huh. Anyway, are these two the only ones here so far? Time's running out. When will the rest arrive? Looks like a formation of transport aircrafts flying in. Don't tell me that's what we were waiting for. Well, that's a lot. If those don't have the Alphatrix logo on them, I think it was the military. Of course it's Alphatrix. Why am I not surprised? Sorry we're late, everyone. Preparing extra units of what you ordered took a long time. I thought something called a filter would be about the size of a refrigerator at most. I didn't expect 5 pieces of heavy equipment in the 5-ton class. Our company's doctor says one would be enough to function, but it's always better to account for variables. So this is the energy filter made from Alternium. A device that converts unstable coalful to usable energy within seconds. Supreme Administrator ordered something like this 2 months ago? With this, you can really convert coalful into energy equivalent to Ethereum? Yes. The performance is reliable, although it has a chronic issue where the converted coalful energy will flow backwards if it isn't used within 1 minute. Flow backwards? Then what happens? Well, I suppose the area within a 30-kilometer radius around the malfunctioning equipment would turn into imaginary space. You say something like that with such a cheerful smile. The more positive a corporate leader is, the more ambitious the results tend to follow, wouldn't you say? In my judgment, if we maintain the stability of the coalful for just 1 minute, it should be enough. Using the dangerous coalful that harms reality by converting it into energy of possibility. We protect the present and save the future at the same time. Quite efficient, I'd say. Shall we begin the connection then? Well, that's interesting. In late autumn, on the day before winter, the girl who stood frozen in the moment became a lonely golden tree and kept tomorrow at bay with her own death. Alright, that said, just give me a moment. I'm gonna do a little something here, and that is waste a little bit, just a little bit, of my Ethereum. And if I need more, I have that 1 login bonus, but anyway. That said, I am going to take a moment to take a piss, but we are going to at least look at this. Under the Demon Lord's Age of Chaos, humanity vanishes, leaving only winter behind. The golden tree that whispers of the future stands broken, silent. That was the end of the world. It should have been. The winter winds that freeze everything comes to a halt, and sprouts emerge from the earth. A new sun rises, and new life begins to stir. And at its center is a girl embracing the golden tree. Okay. And like I said, I'm going to be right back. I'm going to the bathroom. I'm back. Okay. Ah, yes, Mr. Priestman. What brings you here? Yeah, I figured it was her. I want to meet Alicia. She'll be back soon, so please wait here for a while. Alicia's praying right now in the place she loves most. Where? The sunniest place in the Promised Land. The Hill of the Golden Tree. You're Alicia's father, aren't you? How much do you know about her? More than the memories of the other being within you. You know Nikita? I know many things, including the fact that the fates of the two people that are bound within you, and that neither can accept the other, so both choose to look away. And then do you also know how we ended up here? There's only one reason outsiders arrive here. Because the Promised Land wished it so. So I hope you, too, will find life in the Promised Land fulfilling. Yeah, I'm enjoying a miracle-like peace I haven't felt in a long time. More than anything, I feel an underserved gratitude at being able to see my mother again like this. But I have to go back. I can't keep dreaming of miracles forever. The Promised Land does not bar the way of those with resolve. But do not drag that child into this. What are you planning to do with Alicia? Nothing. As her father, I'm only letting that child, weary from a long journey, rest in peace. The Demon Lord Thurigren will come to our world before long. If you're from Elysian, you know how dangerous a Demon Lord is. That's why I need your help. So you mean to use Alicia as a sacrifice to stop that Demon Lord? Not a sacrifice. We're trying to join forces because our purpose is the same. Though it seems she herself has lost memories of fighting alongside us. If I can help her somehow, she'll remember. Help her? That child has fought for a very long time to stop Thurigren. As a lingering obsession, she wandered countless worlds throughout eternity, and her soul was damaged beyond repair. If you truly wish to help her, then do not drag her into conflict any longer. I understand what you're trying to say. But without her help, our world will collapse just like yours did. The end of the world is an ordained course. If it is like pruning a branch that is no longer needed. No matter how many times you cut it, the next branch will grow. Do you think Alicia feels the same way? Someone with enough pride to fight through an eternity at the cost of her own soul, who would just give up because she's tired? You're going to shackle her memories however you please, and force her to live a false life? Of course. Because that is the only way to save her soul. I hear the Promised Land grants the wishes of its residents. So if your wish is to return Shadow Moors to the Alicia you loved? No. My wish is... Father! Alicia? Oh, hold on. Alicia, back already? Father, look. This fell from the sky. A snowflake? It doesn't even melt in my hand. Oh? I didn't even realize we had a guest. I'll hurry and gather some fruit. That won't be necessary. She'll be leaving soon. Is that so? Hey, we cannot send a guest of our home away empty-handed. Why don't you accompany her and bring in today's harvest together? Is that acceptable to you? Yes. And I'll go fetch the pole pruners. I thought you tried to stop me from meeting her. This is unexpected. A priest of the Promised Man does not sow the seeds of conflict. I have conveyed my will clearly enough. So from here on, I'll leave it to your choice and that child's. Promise me just one thing. If you cannot persuade that child by today, then promise you will no longer trouble her. She's so enthusiastically fucking stamina's insane. Come up quickly. You're really good at climbing hills. I climb this path every day, so of course I am. That's my first time going out to harvest with someone else, so it's even more delightful. Not like that. Pull a little more strength to the end and cut it in one go. But like this. Got it! Well done. Fruit on the high branches really is hard to pick. Feels like we could just take the fruit that's fallen to the ground. The fruit a tree lets fall is the tree's way of repaying the promised land. So we mustn't touch it. The tree's repaying it. Huh. Interesting. Yes, the earth gave it precious nourishment, so the tree diligently grows it and gives it back. Of course, now that the same day repeats itself, perhaps it means nothing at all. But someday, in a perfected promised land, you must not forget how we live in preparation for tomorrow instead of today. I see. So you don't intend to live only for today forever, either. To greet tomorrow, that is a wish of all the residents of the Promised Land. Because it is the one wish the Promised Land can't grant. Alicia. Yeah? Do you know what it's like outside the Promised Land? Beyond the Promised Land lies an eternal winter. I was told it is the trace of the end left behind by the demon Lord Thuragron. It's not just a trace. Out there, even now, there's still people fighting the demon lord to survive that winter. It can't be. It can't be true. Surely every world except the Promised Land was long ago destroyed by Thuragrim. She literally just fucking told you the other day. That's a good question. If Thuragrim had truly destroyed the world completely, how could a place like the Promised Land remain this intact? I don't know why, but this one thing is certain. If we fail to stop the demon Lord Thuragron, this place too will soon collapse by her hands. The Promised Land? By Thuragron's hands? A dead Halagon becomes a monster called a shadow, wandering with nothing left but lingering obsession. Even after ending up that way, you were still someone who never lost your pride and struggled to stop Thuragron. Just because your memories are gone doesn't mean that pride is gone too. I don't know what kind of person I was in the past. But to me right now, nothing is more precious than the time I spend with my father. I don't wish to let go of what I have now in order to protect people I don't even remember. That's not your own thoughts. Someone is covering your eyes and ears with false memories. Maybe that Vels guy did it. Do not insult my father! Please. Please don't call this promised land I love a lie. You... Huh? Is it snowing right now? More is falling than before. But... it's never snowed at this hour before. It's never fallen before. I think that's a sign that Thurgren's coming, cause snowfall ties into that shit. The snowflakes don't melt, even in my hand. What is this supposed to be a sign of? Within the silence at the end of autumn, the promised land shall be complete. As we welcome the first snowfall we encounter at the end of eternity. Thus shall the promise of the promised land be fulfilled. The time promised by the promised land is coming. And the fact that it's snowing now is proof of that. You... As if a cold owl burned deep within my subconscious has twitched. A strange yet familiar sensation gorges straight through the center of my chest. Fear, hatred, kinship, regret, guilt, pity, and the massive amount of confusion born from all those clashing emotions. Pulled a name that had long since sunken at the bottom of my memories to the surface. Audra. Hidden away in a velvet box, in an abyss even gods cannot reach. I wish that you, at least you, would remain pure white. Audra, who is that? What? You don't know who she is? No. It's only natural you wouldn't know. I lived all this time without drawing anyone's notice. Without drawing anyone's notice. In the Promised Land, no one has any need to hide. Please, take my hand.
I'm making you hamburgers. You want french fries with it, or you want that mac and cheese?
Either's fine. You're as kind as ever, Your Eminence. Your Eminence? Step back, Alicia. She's dangerous. She's Thuracron! That girl's a demon lord? But she looks nothing like what I've heard. Don't be fooled by her appearance. She's trying to deceive us. State your purpose. Why'd you bring me here? What exactly is this place called the Promised Land? Thuragron is not here. There's no need to worry. As long as she draws breath, she promised never to set foot in the Promised Land. What? What is that supposed to mean? Just because you look like that, are you saying you're somehow a different being from Thurgon? That's right. The first thing Thurgon did to become a demon lord was cut away the weakest part of herself. The weakest part? I am the part of her that cannot become a demon lord. The heart she left behind. A monster that devours people has no need for a human heart. You're... You're the heart of Demon Lord Thuragon? That girl was originally fated to become a Demon Lord. In trying to defy that, she brought about far too many sacrifices. And now we are paying the price for it. Paying the price. Thuragon is still trampling people and destroying worlds without a care. And you, the so-called other half, are just hiding here in the Promised Land like this? What price are you possibly paying? There's something I wanted to say to you someday, Niquaddle. I'm sorry for what happened to your orchestra members. I wanted to say that someday. Don't make me laugh. Maestro Niquita is a sinner who committed unforgivable atrocities. The orchestra members who followed her were no different. Do you really expect anything to change just because one evil person apologizes to another? No. Nothing changes. Your members from Elysian are also living here in the Promised Land as its residents. What? Those villains are leaving peacefully in a place like this? Why? The Promised Land does not discriminate against anyone. Just as the world offers a fair chance to both good and evil. It merely gives everyone a chance to tie up all their loose ends before coming to an end. Before everything comes to an end. See, it could be one or two people I'm thinking of. Unless they're going to introduce someone new. So this is where you were, Adora. Oh, what the fuck? Who is that? What is going on here? I've been waiting. I should have made my decision sooner. My hesitation made me too late. No. The sun is not set yet. It's not too late. Not this time either. Resent me. For being left with no choice but this. I don't resent you. Not now. Not ever. Is that a sword? Alicia, get back! What the fuck is going on in this world? The girl I thought was the enemy we need to face fell with absurd ease, making my resolve seem meaningless. Before a blade wielded by an absurdly unexpected figure, she showed not the slightest sign of a resistance. As I moved to shield little Alicia, instead of stepping back, I covered her eyes. And then before long, I too closed my eyes for a moment. For a villain's end, the way she laid there was far too miserable and pathetically small. When the faint, gasping girl let out a final breath, the blade that had cut through her was nowhere to be seen, as though it never existed in the first place. What the fuck is going on in this world? Miss Leah? Is she dead? It seems so. To commit murder in the Promised Land? I can't believe it. No. Even having seen it myself, I can scarcely believe it. These eyes who've witnessed countless horrors. And yet that death felt utterly unfamiliar. So when I tried to take a closer look at it, someone placed a hand on the corpse first. Dinah? The sun will be setting soon. Step back. That flower, what is it? It's a white frost flower. A flower. All at once I remember a little girl picking flowers for a sleeping friend. Dinah, whatever the fuck her name's pronounced as, placing the white flower atop the corpse, showing not a trace of confusion or duress. It seems this sort of thing happened. I've seen that sort of look before in granola. Sorrowful, yet something one cannot help but grown used to. It resembled the detached gaze of a surviving veteran standing before the last gravestone after passing 100 graves. Hey, this isn't your first time seeing this, is it? No. But even the first time, I didn't grieve. This was the path the child chose from the start. The small shoulders in my arms tremble. That pitiful blonde girl clinging to me had gone pale, as though she was seeing death for the first time. The one who had witnessed more deaths than anyone had screamed of revenge throughout an eternity. Had she now become nothing more than an innocent lamb who knew nothing at all? At least she is here. Who was it we just saw? The Promised Land grants everyone's wishes. What you saw was also that child's wish. To die like that is a wish? Who in the world could wish for something like that? The one who desires not to require anyone else's understanding. That is what a wish is. The sun is setting. Like heavy eyelids, darkness settles over the pale yellow horizon. Night will come before long. If this were an ordinary world, that is. Huh? The flower that was lying there just now, where did it go? Ah, shit, she's awake. What is it? I've never seen you look so startled this early in the morning. Father? If you don't feel up to it, then don't pray today. Rest at home instead. Do you know the name Atoria? Atoria is another name for the Promised Land itself. Have you ever met her, Father? Yes. She was the one who entrusted me with the duty of tending the golden tree. The fact that you have come to know that name must mean the day of our long-cherished wish is fulfilled is finally drawing near. By long-cherished wish, do you mean the prophecy of the golden tree is soon to come true? You too must prepare yourself. For the first season we shall face in the Promised Land. Once it is completed at the end of the eternal autumn, will be a cold winter. Are you going to the golden tree? Come along, if you wish. I will show you how our Promised Land has been able to maintain its present form. Here we are. This place beneath the golden tree is the core facility. The heart of the Promised Land. Have you been working here all alone this time, Father? Alone all this time, Father? For a very long time, yes. I've been helping the golden tree store up nutrients through its roots, so that I could spread that nutrient throughout the Promised Land. Helping the roots store nourishment? The golden tree has roots that can cross world from world. So you've been harvesting the worlds. God damn it, I knew it! And this copper plate serves as the eyes that guide the golden tree. Through this copper plate, it guides the golden tree through which nourishment lies and where its roots must extend. This is the golden tree's eye. But everything reflected on this copper plate is nothing but barren land. It doesn't look as though there is any nourishment there. That place was once a prosperous world overflowing with possibility. It became so barren because the roots of the golden tree absorbed every possibility in that world into our promised land. How could you do such a thing? Our world once met its end at Thurgon's hands. The only reason this ruined world was able to regain its presence abundance is because of that. But it cannot go on taking forever. Our promised land is gradually being completed through that nourishment. Once it absorbs just one more world, our promised land will be made perfect. A place where life and death, night and day coexist. Where nothing must be taken from one another and nothing need fear withering. It will become a palace, the perfect promised land. That can't be. Father, I know, would never do such a thing. Thurgon is still trampling people and destroying worlds without a care. And you, the so-called other half, are just hiding here in the present promised land like this? What price are you possibly paying? Then the one called Ethuria must be a villain in league with Demon Lord Thuragon. She must have deceived Father and made him do these evil deeds to destroy other worlds. I'll go find her and demand the truth. Whatever you choose to do, I will not stop you. In the end, the promised land will grant the wishes of us all. And what is your wish, per se? The right to move forward. The future is granted only to those who have the courage to face the past. My father would never do something like that. It must all be that person's fault. What exactly did someone do to you? You of all people tried harder than anyone to stop that person. Why did you change like that? My heart has never changed, not even once. I prefer today that is the same as yesterday. If my past harbors hatred towards others, then today too will be stained by the hatred of that past. To be trapped in such an endless cycle is something I do not desire. Hatred. I'm no different, am I? You're saying another world was destroyed? And use this nourishment? Yes. As the truth I've come to learn about the golden tree and the promised land. So you tried to meet Adoria to hold her accountable, but you changed your mind along the way and came to see me instead. That is correct. Thank you for choosing to trust me. I'm not trying to trust someone. I simply came to a point where I no longer trust myself. I'm the same way. Because we can't trust ourselves, we end up looking for someone else. After all, the voice inside our heads can only end up defending ourselves when faced with right and wrong. So help me too, Alicia, so that I don't lose my way and make a mistake. What do you plan to do now? Before morning returned, Odoria surely woke up. Now that we know she's alive, we should go meet her. In that case, it would be wise to bring weapons. Weapons? You're expecting a fight? And when we first met, she didn't seem to have any hostility. The one who wielded that sword might appear again and harm Odoria. That woman. Even if we had weapons, I doubt we can stand against her. She looked incredibly strong. He'll stop her. There are two of us, aren't they? Aren't there? If you insist that strongly. But where would we get weapons? I know. A place with strong weapons. Clara? You know about weapons? Ha! There are weapons inside this? Yes. The adults put many inside my friend to make it stronger. We did say we needed weapons, but your friend is sleeping. Is it really okay to take him out without asking? It's okay. My friend has never used the ones stored here. It said it tickled whenever the adults tried to take them out for experiments, so he didn't like it. So it said just one really strong one is enough. I don't see anything like a handle. Should we force it open? That would be rather rude to your friend, wouldn't it? Then do you have a better idea? Well, excuse me, Miss Clara Steele friend? We're in need of your weapons. Would you be so kind as to lend us some? Judging by the silence, I believe we've been refused. Is that so? Well, it can't be helped. I can't believe this girl is the same Alicia that Naquita remembers. Still, that stubbornly unlike nature of hers is strangely familiar, isn't it? Strangely similar, isn't it? Lid. Open. Ah! Oh, it opened. Miss Clara, how'd you manage to do that? It's a spell for opening doors. I forgot about it, but I just remembered. A spell. There's a ton of guns here that look like they came straight out of some sci-fi movie. This must be the trigger, and that part's where the cartridge goes, I think? Miss Leah, you seem to know many complicated terms. Have you used something like this before? It's my first time seeing one, too. I'm just piecing it together from what little I know about weapons. Miss Leah! Yeah? Please, share that knowledge with me as well. Knowledge? I'm hardly in any position to teach someone. But at least I'm better than someone pointing their muzzle at their face. Ah! This cartridge looks like it's made for one-time use. Once you fire, you have to replace it with a new one. And always keep the muzzle pointed away from yourself. Ah, I see. The way you hold it resembles a blowpipe. The difference is that what comes out of this doesn't drop like an arrow. So when you aim at a target, point straight at it. Once you lined up your target, and the last step is pulling the trigger with your finger. Wow, that startled me! What was that? That's just the sound of the filtered hydraulic cylinder activating for the first time. Which means the filter is successfully connected to the well. I thought something had gone wrong and exploded, you little rascal. Jump coordinates are set. And all that remains is to connect Quaffle and the filter. If we write this down, will it really take us to where Thorogram is? I would certainly prefer it if it were that simple. You will first travel a relatively short distance back to the past. Short is relative. You're going back nearly 20 years. 20 years? What are we supposed to accomplish by going back only 20 years? A great leap always requires a small running start. To rewind time closer to infinity, we must connect the two great wells between the past and the present. Is the process of securing a smaller node first, to open up a larger space-time alternative, or whatever the fuck the word's pronounced as. You're saying we're going to create another well of this scale in the past? If that's the case, we'll probably need to bring more workers than the current plan calls for. We don't have enough spare straw rope to supply that many workers. So the conclusion we reach is this. Since we're going to the past anyway, we'll be borrowing the help of engineers from that era. Is meeting people from the past supposed to be forbidden in time travel? Well, some stories treat it that way, but in reality it's not that much of a problem. Anything we do in the past only remains valid within the well's path while the well's path is temporarily connected. The moment the tunnel closes, everything returns to normal. What happens if the well path closes before we come back? Wow, just like a clever scholar to immediately spot the flaw. If that happens, the mission fails and everything we repaired up till now goes to waste. That's all you roughly need to understand. So everyone dies, got it. I understand, roughly. Everyone fucking dies. Oh look, finally a battle. The sun and moon. The courage to face the past is not the courage to flee it, but the courage to move forward towards the future. Why are we fighting the vampire? Interesting, but why the fuck are we fighting the vampire? Eeny, meeny, miny. Probably gonna change my range actually too, but let me see here. Excuse me, goddamn money bags. Yeah, why not? We'll bring your mom too, Dragon Boy. This aircraft is currently violating the airspace above Ground 1 without authorization. State your purpose or we will shoot you down. This is your final warning. This is official Counter Hicks. Shoot me down or don't. Do whatever you want. What's going on? An airship report stolen from Chambers approaching the administration headquarters. The pilot claims to be Hicks. Yinka? Why is someone who should be guarding Chamber coming here? Enough of that. The time machine's here, right? Time machine? I heard there's a time machine that can only be used when the world is completely flooded with Quaffle and it's about to depart. Who did you hear that from? So it does exist? I want to write it too. I swear it won't cause any trouble. I knew she'd be uncontrollable without Senior Jackson, but hearing about her recent accomplishments made me relax for a moment. That was foolish of me. Hicks, do you not realize that abandoning a battlefield without authorization is a serious offense? If you don't let me on, I'll just crash into any building I'll see. This idiot. Three hours earlier in Chamber. Ew. That was a lot of fun. My blood's getting stinky, or whatever. You ambushed a lady in a dark alley, so tearing you all to shreds would count as stealth defense, right? Oh, it's these things. Hey, I killed you already, and now the corpse is getting back up? That's disgusting. We desire something precious to you. Something precious to me? I don't have anything like that. What, are you planning to chew my arms and legs off with that germ-covered dull blade of yours? An item left behind by your savior. It is an unnecessarily large valuable. Offer it to us. My savior? If it's something Mr. Jackson left behind, then maybe... Wait, how do you know about stuff like that? Our master observes all with cold, compound eyes. For the ignorant monarch's plan to stand at the crossroads between success and failure, that valuable must be removed. You cannot go to the past, so that item is useless to you anyway. Me go to the past? Why would I, and how? I have no idea what you're talking about, even if you come back to life. Does your damaged language center not regenerate? You're badly wounded, and yet you still refuse to give up, continuing to oppose our will? You act like you know everything. Did you come looking for me even without knowing who I am? As long as there's enough blood flowing from the bodies I carve up. What the? My body feels strange. With our bodies flowed impure poison, fragrant yet foul, crimson and pure in color. And that poison reveals any secret. It's not a lethal poison. If I could just hold out for one more minute, she'd be able to move again somehow. So you are hiding the item left behind in your stomach. No, don't touch it. Damn it. 1 minute's too long. I can't just let this happen. Okay, that was an arrow. An arrow? Where did that come from? You interfere with us again, demon. I'm merely fulfilling a contract. The ones interfering are you. Oh, it's him. If you truly wish to obtain that item, you may come at me instead. We shall withdraw for now. We have no intention of wasting our time on something without substance. It seems they disappeared. My lady, are you unhurt? Huh? I didn't feel like it cut at all. To swing such a vicious weapon at someone who just helped you. How disappointing. You didn't save me, you just attacked those guys. If you were handsome, I might have thought about it, but you're just another monster anyway. Cold analysis. I won't say you're wrong. After all, I wasn't really trying to save you either. I simply concerned about that item being taken. Ah, so you came for this thing too in the end? See, just like Ghost Guy said, the item's here. If you want it, you have to slice open my stomach. Rather than fear, it sounds like you're hoping I will. It seems the nightmare of the laboratory planted such twisted desires within you. Huh? You know about the experiments? What's your name? Even if I told you my name, it would mean nothing to you. However, I can explain about your blood relative in his final moments. What? You were originally meant to die in that laboratory. But you ultimately overcame that fate and survived alone among the test subjects. Was that truly coincidence? Or predetermined outcome? Why do you appear before me? The world is now on the brink of destruction. And many people, including the administration, are moving towards that predetermined conclusion. I simply came to tell you where you should go. Are you saying I should try and stop the destruction of the world or something? Or are you one of those people who wants the world to be destroyed? You merely live a life obeying the commands of your benefactor. But even if that miracle is realized, you won't feel very happy about it. Because ever since that day in the laboratory, you believe you have no right to enjoy being alive. The administration recently retrieved a method of traveling to the past from a very deep well. And they are now selecting several people to prepare for a journey into the past. Of course, it's not truly rewind in time, a mere brief trip. Return to the past? Even if something like that were possible, what does that have to do with me? Your life did not lack a goal from the beginning. You simply gave up because, now that you moved so far from the past, it can no longer be achieved. So chase them. Reach out and grasp it. That lingering regret you left behind in the past. Interesting. I feel like he's hinting that he made a contract with the brother. I only threatened them, but they really shot me down. Let's see. My right arm's stuck over there. Crash site confirmed. She's definitely still alive. Find her. Watch out for ambushes. No time to pick that up. I smell it. The administrator's scent. Not far from here. We're going to the past? More precisely, you'll be going to a point just after the administration failure 20 years ago. It was that period where the dimensional rifts were most active and unstable, making an ideal time to supply the well's power source with coaffle. So we just need to go to the past and carry out the mission? Personnel are lacking on both fronts. Even if you remain here, there'll be plenty of work to do. Whether you participate in this mission or not is up to you. I'll go. A world from 20 years ago. When else would I ever get to experience something like that? What about you, Sion? I'll remain here. I'll leave Master's safety in your hands, Mina. It's not like I'm particularly worried about the Commander's safety anyway. Are you sure about this? This may be the last opportunity to go to the past. I'm fine. I settled my regrets about the past long ago. And I don't want to go along and make everyone worry for no reason. Very well. Then... Huh? Found you! That person is smiling. Is that... You're going to the past, right? I want to go too! Take me with you! She suddenly started throwing a tantrum out of nowhere. Who leaked that information to her? I refuse. I can't entrust an important mission to someone as unstable as you. Yeah. If you don't take me, then no one here is leaving. Wow, she's really forcing the issue. What? Why is she suddenly threatening us? Isn't she an official counter of the administration? Those with vampire blood usually have problems controlling their impulses. This is becoming troublesome. A vampire, huh? So that's why you brought so many blood packs. I won't back down until you take me with you. Deal with her, rookie. Me? No. I meant the youngest one here. And me? But I haven't said anything? Exactly. Since you haven't said anything, go ahead and do something. If you're a fragment of Seraph, you should be able to read the intentions of a monster no matter what. You're trusting me? And this is my chance to impress the Fenrir commander. Yes, Noelle of the Fenrir squad. I'll show you what I can do. Don't worry, we'll help you. You two stay out of it and just make sure she doesn't destroy the whole base. Sure, okay. It's one way of okay. It's one way of thinking it. Sure, why not? Okay, just make sure she doesn't blow everything up. Got it. It's taking a while to load. What the fuck? Okay. Deploy, my children. And I think I'll deploy you. And then we'll leave it to the other people. Okay, she's at least tired of taking damage now. I'll take that. Alright, go moneybags. And then we deploy the young one with no shoes. That reminds me, did we ever get shoes for her? Oh shit, she rejuvenated. Alright, now we got the attack bonus. She keeps rejuvenating. Die, damn you! Okay, she's at least going down pretty fast now. I'll take that. Will she rejuvenates again? I think maybe. No, we're okay. Okay, we're okay. Did we get her? Not yet. I'm going too. She got back up again. So vampires can revive as long as they have blood. Interesting. There's nothing interesting about it. No, actually, it's quite fascinating. Looks like she gets her strength back when she absorbs blood too. If we try to wear her out, this will never end. I have to go. No matter what, I have to go back there and... Huh? It's not anger or hostility. This feeling is... B15 has been eliminated in the final adaptation test. Among the test subjects, only B21 has survived. Good work. This proves that the condition for accepting the pale moon factor is the survival instinct that transcends reason. Good thing we managed to get at least one proper result out of this. The future concerns me. B2-1 was only... was one of the only few subjects who actively participated in the experiments until now. And what had motivated that was B115 survival. And you know, B115 is B21's... There's no need to worry. B21 will not be able to defy us anymore, even without B115. Because B115's blood, the blood she drank to survive, is now flowing inside her. Isn't that right, B21? This feeling is sorrow over something she can never reach. Regret. The chainsaw-swinging maniac feels something like sorrow? This is a classified operation, right? I don't want to kill you. Even if one of you becomes unusable, I'll go in your place. Just let me go to the past. I'll do anything! I can roughly guess what you're trying to do, Yinka. You intend to harm the scientists involved with the ones that caused your family's death in the past. I'm only trying to get rid of the villains who deserve to die. But that would be a problem. Trying to change the past only hastens the world's corruption. And killing a mere handful of people won't create a casual path where your family survives. One is enough. I'll kill just one. You mean Felix, with an ambitious dream? No. I'll stop you. Because what you're trying to do can't save anyone. What do you know? I know best who was truly behind everything that happened that day. If I go back to the past and kill her, then my brother wouldn't have to die! She dropped her guard all of a sudden. Noelle! Would you let go of me already? Why are you hugging me in the middle of a fight? Are you a pervert or something? I'm not going to say I understand, because I can't even begin to imagine the devastation of losing your only family member by your own hand. But the scream echoing inside your heart, I heard it clearly too. If hearing it is this painful, then you must be suffering far more than I am right now. If you know that, then stop pretending to understand and give me your spot. I'll go back and take her head. Your brother had an incurable disease, and you couldn't stand by and watch a family member die without even receiving proper treatment. So that day you asked him to volunteer for the experiment with you. What? How do you know that? Give me a few. The one you want to go back and kill in the past isn't someone else. It's you. It's a fair trade. Even if someone as messed up as me disappears, it won't make any difference to something like grand corruption rate anyway. Global corruption rate. And if I disappear, I won't have to keep the promise I made with Mr. Jackson either. If the final adaptation test, the last two surviving test subjects were you and your brother. But at the very last moment, your brother didn't resist at all. If one of the two had to live, he wanted it to be you. You didn't fail to save your brother. He saved you. So, don't hate the person your brother loved most. Because if it were him, he surely would have believed he had left behind his most precious treasure. Crying, wah. Well, this is awkward. It's gotten so solemn I can't even make a joke. She's crying that hard. Did we push her that far? Did we push her too far? Rather, it's closer to clearing out an old infection. As long as she carried around that festering mass of self-loathing, hell would have followed her no matter where she ran. That uninvited guest wasted enough of our time. Shouldn't we wrap this up? Let go, it's hot. Sorry. Have you calmed down a little? Who asked you to calm me down? You're right. My brother wouldn't be happy if I disappeared. But I still don't believe I bear no responsibility for my brother's death. I'll carry that responsibility with me to the end. What's this? An old pocket watch? It's an artifact called a time capsule. Mr. Jackson entrusted it to me before he left. Jackson entrusted something like this to you. What kind of item is it? It's an artifact that can connect the past and present, letting each side deliver their voice just once. When I heard you were going to the past, that was the first time I thought I should use this. Go back. Put this in my brother's hand and get rid of my younger self. Yonika. But now I'm giving up on going to the past. You can take it. You'll make far better use of this than I ever could. I didn't expect this to happen. Thank you. What do you plan to do from here, Yonika? I've given up on the time machine, so I'll stay and protect people. That's what Mr. Jackson would have wanted. And the one who told me about the time machine. That person probably knows Felix somehow. They smell familiar. Felix from the Northern Union? You're saying she drew Yonika to interfere with us? That's hardly surprising. If anything, the surprising part was hearing that she helped with the Grand Dimensional Crevice incident in Chamber. It seems there's a leak inside. But why would a being like that be cooperating with the Northern Union's Chief of the General Staff? If the opportunity arises, we'll have to investigate the details further. In any case, thanks to this incident, I'm glad Noelle seems to have gained a proper understanding of her own ability. Is it really okay just to let Yonika go like that? She wrecked the door and a bunch of other things. It's fine. We can reflect in the next month's administration salary. Come to think of it, she's a salaried worker too. Well done, rookie. I didn't expect you to use Seraph's power to face another person's wounds, but it was impressive. Thank you, Commander. If I may ask, did you already know that I had an ability like this? Who knows? I simply trusted you at whatever your ability was, and you do well enough and left it to you. If you're a fragment of Seraph with the will to save the world, fixing one broken person should be nothing at all. Heh. Alright, it's going on a little longer than I thought. I have dinner, and I gotta take a piss again, so I'll be back in a few minutes again. Probably gonna be the end. Yeah, honestly, though, this last section of dialogue is probably gonna be the end of Act 1, but we'll see. Either way, I'll be back in a few. I'm back. Let's see if this is the end of, Act 1 or not. Time we had anyway, 7. That ain't too bad. Quafa energy supply complete. The guide path connection work is finished as well. Fenrir squad, are you ready? We're ready on this side as well. The straw rope thingy. Is it? It really is advanced technology that keeps us safe, right? To me, it just looks like an ordinary rope. Don't judge by appearances alone, Mina. Before seeing it with their own eyes, no one believed a sword can cut through space either. That's because Sion is amazing for using a sword like that. I get it perfectly now. So Sioseng must be amazing for making a cutting-edge invention look like an ordinary object. Yeah, that's one way to look at it. The coordinates on the time axis are fixed, but the alignment on the spiritual axis is still unstable. You may end up arriving some distance away from your target. It doesn't matter. What matters is setting out as soon as possible. Handling over startup procedure. I'll leave the rest to you, Paradox. For this very day, I had a whole lot of blood transfused. I still can't quite believe, I'll be burned up in a single startup, but... Have a safe trip. Please take care of the pass for us, Team Moon. Yes, we'll leave the rest to Team Sun. Sun and Moon. Do you think the boss's naming is kind of cute? It doesn't matter how many times I hear it, it sounds lame. Then let's go. Okay. To 20 years ago. And now we've gone back to the past. I'm thinking that's the end of Act 1. And I was right. Okay, all I had to do was do a little bit longer. Alright, let's see. A man who lingers for the past, yet bound before him is not the past, but another world. A distance that cannot be bridged. I think we'll do maybe a little bit of Act 2. Just a little bit. Oh, so that reminds me. There we go. Okay. Yeah, we'll do like maybe 1 or 2 of these talking things and then we'll call it. Whoa, that startled me. The sea suddenly flashed out in the middle of nowhere. I never imagined people would come falling out from it. Lucky for us, your boat was nearby. One of us can't swim at all. Like I said, we're counters in training. We were testing this one teleportation ability together when it happened. Huh? Me? Yeah, okay, I'm a counter trainee with teleportation abilities. My skills weren't up to par, so we ended up troubling a civilian. Teleportation, huh? It's amazing. Did you strike some kind of special pose when you use it? Like this, if I close my eyes and focus. Then pull 2 fingers at the center of my forehead. Oh yes, instant transmission. Oh, that actually looks convincing. Ha! More cute than cool. Surprised you're younger than I expected. Heard about it on the news, but it's still a little strange getting used to the fact that there's so many people with superpowers in our society. You're training to join the administration like the other counters, right? That's right. There's an official audition at Ground 1 today, so we were looking for somewhere to stay the night. Ground 1. Right. Everyone's already calling it that. Well, once the Grand Dimensional Crevice swallowed up the city, it really did become a different place. Still, it's a relief. Back then, I thought the world was over, but thanks to the administration, it feels like it's becoming a place people can live in again. Maybe. If another 20 years pass like this, We're back to our old lives without a single worry, don't you think? Well... Yeah, us too. We'll make sure it happens. Thank you. That's reassuring. If you go a little further from here, there's a town the administration set up. It's not a hotel, but it's a fine place to stay for the night. There's plenty of administration staff there, too. Thanks for showing us the way, mister. Well, the teleporter expresses her gratitude to the gentleman who helped us. You can stop adding the teleporter now. Anyway, where do we go from here? Here. There's someone in this camp we need to meet. Oh. Ground 1 Administrator Cap. Staff Temporary Housing Complex. I wonder if we're gonna meet the Seon of the past. I'm sorry, but I think it would be best if you headed back for today. No matter if you're counters, you just can't meet our engineers whenever you feel like it. Tell him Hyde of the Fenrir squad came looking for him. And say whether he meets us or not is up to him. Alright, I'll at least pass the message along. The commander, is it really okay just to reveal your name like that? It probably won't happen with me or Noelle, but you could still accidentally run into your past self. Don't worry, I won't be meeting myself. You two wait here for a moment. She just left without explaining why. Well, if she says it's fine, I guess that's a relief. Do you think maybe the boss even arranged this? Like making sure Commander Hyde of this era quietly disappeared without doing anything? So she wouldn't turn into her future self? Went into the future version of herself? It sounds impossible, but with boss, I can kind of believe it. Right? Excuse me. That chest is the mark of the administration division. Why do you have it? Huh? Why do I have it? Well, that's... it's a demon lord! A demon? Me? Oh, younger Noelle, now Yuma. Now Yubi? How do you know my name? You two will need an identity check. I'll have to ask you to come with me for a moment. There's nothing to check. Those two are rookies from the Fenrir squad. And there are your juniors. Master? Why are you only showing up now? Where in the world have you been all this time? Do you know how much Soyeon has... By now, Lee Soyeon should have finished rehab and left on deployment. I only came back for a pressing matter, so I didn't contact her. So you knew all along? You were watching over all of us and still left us without a word from you? That's enough whining. I said it was urgent, didn't I? Understood. Tell me what you need. Aha! It is those two. I came to see Juhan and Johan. Yoei. Going with Dragon Boy's mother. I wasn't expecting to see her again. Master. Aw, you dodged your apprentice's hug. That's so mean. I haven't seen you that long. I haven't seen you in that long, and already your manners are gone. Give this to Johan. This is a blueprint. Well, what does that mean? Wish establishing lasting legacy, or so I heard. No, maybe it stood for something else. Either way, the idea is probably similar. The naming style sounds a lot like Johan's. Yeah. Could it be... Does this have something to do with him? Of course it does. At least here, Johan is the only technician who can understand this design. Johan, have you fell asleep in here again? Oh shit! He's got black hair? In this timeline? And no glasses? And he's got a cat? Ha! Good grief. Sio saying, were you up all night reading again? Sorry, but this isn't reading, it's document research, right? Save the pointless excuses when we have a proper... Save the pointless excuses. We have an important guest, so at least say hello. An important guest. Master, you're back? A man who can't even swing a sword has no business calling me master. You're Johan's master, so that makes you mine too. And you taught me a great deal about Johan's secret as well. I didn't teach you anything, I merely warned you. And since you ignored every one of those warnings, that means you learned nothing from me. I didn't ignore them, I simply chose to bear them all. You fool. I understand most of the structure now. You just skimmed it and already? You figured out the whole thing? I actually tried coming up with something similar once, but eventually gave up. Everyone dreams of a time machine, don't they? There's one thing I don't understand. It's this power source X that isn't explained at all. Don't worry. We'll procure power source X ourselves. Warning, under no circumstances should you be curious about what this really is. You don't have to read that part out loud too, Noel. If you say so, then I'll leave it at that. But this has to do with information contamination, doesn't it, Master? Yes, you'll get hurt if you try to know more. It would have a major impact on the global corruption rate. Understood. I already heard the Technical Command Division would be carrying out something important. This must be a major matter. If it's serious enough to involve even the higher-ups in the administration, right? Why don't you become a detective instead of a scientist? Haha, that's harsh. If I become a detective, I won't be able to see Johan. How long will it take? That's the problem. Understanding it and putting it into practice are a little different. If I had to reproduce this exactly from the blueprint alone, it'd take about 6 months. 6 months? No way! You were told the longest we could stay here is 2 weeks! If you work together with the person who designed this, how much could you shorten that? If that other person understands the design, 1 month should be enough. Though, considering it's only meant for one-time use, if we built a simplified version with the designer's help, we could probably shorten the schedule even more. I see. Then I'll bring him here. Here. This is going to be interesting. This is going to be very interesting. I'm going to see 2 versions of yourself. Oh my god, this is going to be hilarious to me. This is a person, not a machine. Not a person. This is a machine, not a person. Is this what the commander brought back when she said she had somewhere to go earlier? It looks exactly like the boss's machine garp. Johan, install this into the Terrabrain. This is a memory cartridge. Just give me a moment. Ah, that's what we're going. I see. I see the angle. Okay. A pleasure to meet you. I'm Handam, the administration's chief engineer. Ah yes, nice to meet you, Handam. From this point on, I shall assist with the well's construction process. This installation site will be in a corrupted area, so bring combat personnel with you. I'll come along too. I may look delicate, but I'm actually quite a capable fighter. Quite, so it seems. There are plenty of usable materials in the maintenance hangars nearby. I'll put together a list of what we need in contact transport. You all head out first. Ha! Is there really a need any need for you to keep holding me. There aren't enough seats, so this is the best option. You're not about to say something cliche like, I have machine body, so you can just toss me in the cargo hold, are you? May I ask you something, Hondan? I'm listening. How'd you end up creating this well in the first place? I wish to return to the past and set it right. But that was the wrong idea. What needed settling right was not the past, but my own troubled heart. The way you say it sounds pretty pessimistic. I take it things didn't turn out very well? No. Even so, in the end, everything turned out okay. I failed to preserve my body, but thanks to the tireless efforts of many people, I was given the chance to live on into today. Even though you ended up trapped in a machine body like this, did things really turn out okay? I couldn't achieve everything I wanted, but I did achieve the one thing I wanted most. So I have no regrets. None at all. To have something more precious than yourself. If that precious thing were a person, that person must be very happy. Are you happy now? Yes, I am. So much so that it doesn't even matter how long this happiness lasts. Every day I have right now feels precious. Well now, that's good to hear. Are you all from the future? To be precise, from 20 years ahead. Is it really okay to admit so readily to someone from the past that you're a time traveler from the future? There's a safeguard. Once we return, it'll be as if nothing has happened here ever happened. You speak very differently 20 years from now. I have no idea what you mean. Even if you hide behind the machine, even if the way you speak has changed, I can still tell you're still you. But instead of being happy to see me, you're hiding who you are. So I guess the future you don't like me very much. I only wanted to ask whether the two of us are still happy together in the future. I'm not the Johan you know. Just as the woman I saw in my dreams was not you. The woman from your dreams? If you don't want to act like you know me, then forget the cryptic talk and just answer me one thing. Are you and I still happy together in the future? Over the long years, I've learned many things, but the one thing I wish to leave with you. But there's only one thing I wish to leave with you. Don't worry about the future to come. And gladly cherish the happiness that stays by your side today. You really do make things sound complicated and elegant. As expected of Seo-Sang. Well, shit. So we fought this version. You pure as a doll. Me, pale as a doll. One day we become two from one. I confide you in a paradise without night. I think we'll end it here for now. So, it is interesting, a lot of the things we're doing. Excuse me. Goddamn. Alright. Well. That reminds me, I gotta decide who I'm gonna use the last of my contracts on. My lifetime contracts. That'll be something for later. Anyway, well, this was interesting, and we're finally touching base on a few people. I had no idea what the fuck happened to them in the past, so that's nice. And now, let's see. So, we are gonna, let's see, we're gonna continue this, Well, Thursday is gonna be my next day off. So, maybe, depending on what time I wake up, we'll do a little bit of it then. Maybe a little bit more of Act 2. Other than that, though, I do want to work on this next week, but I don't know if I'm going to have the same days off or not. Oh, looks like Thursday's going to be potentially thunderstorms and shit. That's going to be fun. I'll deal with that accordingly. That said, like I was saying, let me turn that off for now. Given my work, because I work at a resort and shit, the official summer schedule for us starts on the 11th. And this Wednesday, when they make the schedule for the following week, I'll know if I'm still gonna have roughly the same days or not. I'm banking on no. I'm thinking they're gonna have me work Mondays as like a doubles, given what I know is gonna happen on Monday nights. But I don't know if they're going to carry through with it or not until Wednesday and fucking determine how my days off are going to be. I have an idea how they're going to maybe form, but I don't know. So I can't even guarantee what's going to happen next week yet until Wednesday. So maybe we'll be continuing a little bit more of Counterside Thursday. Definitely be continuing the Total War Warhammer playthrough as we're playing with Fate Weaver for that Realms of Chaos bit. And then we kind of just see how things go from there. So yeah, anyway. Alright people, this has been episode 15, Act 1, completo, and got a little taste of Act 2. And yeah, so thanks for coming by, at least saying hello. I do appreciate it. You guys have a good morning, evening, afternoon, whatever goddamn times when you guys are in. As I expel gas from my freaking mouth. And we'll see you all again next time, whenever the hell I stream. So bye-bye. Have a wonderful time. We'll see you later.